Hey everyone, it's your girl Kaleef, yours truly. I'm your host of The Stark Effect, my podcast, bringing you the tea ethically or as ethical as I can. Everything that I say is strictly my opinion and commentary, and this is also a form of news reporting for me, although it's entertainment and we're having fun. So I hope you enjoy the show tonight. I posted some recent videos. Make sure to check them out. I had an amazing IG live podcast with a dear friend of mine. She is a policy and LGBTQ activist. Her name is Brenda. Check it out. It's one of my most recent posts. We're almost at 100 views. And I'm super happy about that because when I first posted the video, I only got like 3 views on it. And it shot like 2 days later, people started watching it. We had a great conversation about the ICE raids here in Los Angeles. Just a really in-depth conversation surrounding Black history, the civil rights movement and the Chicano movement as well. And it was super deep, a deep conversation about racial issues, justice, the community, and the ICE raids. So go check it out. It was an excellent podcast episode. I'm really proud of it. So thank you, Brenda, for coming on. And she also came on to my other podcast, The Perfect Blend. I did a Pride series. I had my first podcast, The Perfect Blend. I did a special capsule release called the Pride series 2 years ago, and Brenda popped on the show twice back then. So if you want to go back to my earlier videos, you can check that out. Anywho, thank you all for supporting the channel so far. I'm going to jump right into some of our latest celebrity news, because these celebrities be celebrity. So I'm not sure if you all watched the hit reality show Basketball Wives. The show has been out for about over 10 years now. We all know that the show was brought on by Shawnee O'Neal, formerly the wife of Shaquille O'Neal, famous basketball player. So one of the hottest topics right now, and it's still an ongoing thing, in one of their recent episodes, this episode aired last Monday night, July 21st, Jackie Christie and her daughter Chantel Christie had a little back and forth. They had a scuffle. In the scuffle, first of all, before I get into this tea here, I'm going to review an article just to verify, the facts of what really went down. But I saw the clip, and I have been popping in and out of this recent season of Basketball Wives. This entire season, Jackie and Chantel, they have had this tumultuous relationship. Now, if you are an older Basketball Wives fan, you know that in previous seasons, Jackie had her initial bouts of, showing her life. We saw these initial recounts of neglect, accusations, allegedly, of alleged neglect, abuse, resentment, emotional abuse. All of the stuff I'm saying is alleged, but there have been accounts from her oldest daughter, Takiri, of emotional abuse. And if I pronounced her name wrong, I apologize. I believe it's Takari or Takiri. But there was multiple accounts of neglect, resentment, abuse, emotional abuse, and so forth, and also colorism from Takiri. Now, Takiri did release a book a few years ago in 2017 talking about her life, right? Talking about her struggles, talking about how it was growing up. Now, Jackie Christie is married to Doug Christie, who is a prominent basketball player. And Doug Christie, he's currently a basketball coach for the Sacramento Kings here in California. So Doug Christie has played 15 seasons in the league of the NBA 7 times, most notably for the Sacramento Kings, and he's currently a coach for the Sacramento Kings. But let's slow down here. Let's get back to the fight. Okay, because the fight is what's going viral. And if I'm looking that way, it's because I'm looking at the time here. I want to make sure she's on time tonight. So, in a scene on Basketball Wives last Monday, it got pretty volatile. In the scene, you see Jackie sitting in her hotel room. They were in Hawaii.
The situation, because you're sitting here looking stupid.
I don't.
Look how you look as a mother, Jackie.
If you don't
look how you look as a mother.
Get out of
don't touch me.
I will not.
Bitch, I'll knock you out.
Let me go.
Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. No.
Chantel comes in, and this is all set up, right, by the producers to be a sit-down conversation to finally hash out their differences, why they don't see eye to eye, why Chantel has felt neglected as a kid, why Jackie feels like, hey, you had a great upbringing. You know, I had to go on the road growing up because I had to support your father. You keep saying I was abusive. I don't feel that I was abusive. This is all the things these are the paraphrasings of what Jackie has said throughout this season. And also in regards to both of her kids. I'm a great mom, okay? I'm supporting your father. You have clothes. You have everything you need, right? Chantel is like, no, we got to talk about our differences now. I'm going to pause right here because this entire season, I have seen multiple episodes and clips of them trying to have these sit downs. They're trying to sit down and talk. And then Chantel gets really, what I've noticed is that Chantel is the one to kind of get irate. She's the one to get like crazy disrespectful, right? And Jackie's kind of like trying to be calm, trying to, you know, now word out on the street, and I'm gonna get to the fight in a second, but word out on the street, and this is just what I've been hearing, this is all alleged, okay? For, you know, ethically, okay? Word out on the street is that the producers of Basketball Wives have been trying to figure out a way to shake Jackie up a little bit, which is why Chantel has made it on this season. Now, Chantel is, you know, she's in her 30s, okay, her early 30s. Jackie is a mom, and, you know, Jackie is a woman of a particular age, no disrespect to her age, right? But there is, you know, Chantel is an adult. You know, Chantel is a young adult, a young woman, right? So in the scene, they're both trying to talk. And Jackie, now let's go ahead and pull up this article here. They have always had a complicated relationship, and we're referring to Vibe.com for the recount here. They wanted to sit down to hash out their past differences, right? Chantel did have an aggressive tone. Jackie had more of a passive, deflective tone. Now, when I watched it, I felt like Jackie was a bit dismissive, and it triggered Chantel. Next thing you know, Chantel is like, I don't want to move forward, you know, with this conversation. I'm paraphrasing here. She was like, I don't want to move forward with this conversation. You're always dismissing me. This is strictly paraphrasing. I don't even want to participate in this anymore. Jackie is like, okay, well, I want to talk to you. There was a little bit of Jackie trying, like, okay, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. And Chantel immediately got on the defense because she appeared to have gotten triggered. And Jackie was just like, hey, you can go ahead and leave. If you don't want to do this, you can go ahead and leave, all right? So as you can see, it got really, really heated, right? Now, this brings us to the conversation of Black families having, you know, this toxic dynamic, and also doing it on national television. It went viral when Jackie reached over and backhanded her daughter, or, you know, punched her daughter in the face. She didn't reach over, she just swung on her, right? As we saw, Chantel walked up and she said, don't put your hands on me. But in the clip, you didn't see Jackie put her hands on Chantel. You saw Chantel get up, tell it to the door, walk to the door. They're over here arguing, and Chantel turns around and Chantel keeps pressing the issue. And then Jackie is like, leave my hotel room. So Jackie gets up, I'm believing, to open the door. As Jackie walks past, you saw, I'm not taking sides here, I'm just saying what we saw. As Jackie walks past, I don't recall seeing her push Chantel, but Chantel said, you know, B, don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me, right? She was like, you know, don't put your hands on me, girl. Next thing you know, Jackie just, you know what I mean? So it got really real. It went viral. But this brings up the conversation of a toxic family. It brings up the conversation of reality television. We all know that in reality television, the whole goal is to be real, right? But we still have to be mindful that the shows are contrived, right? When these cast members have meetings, they're sitting down, the arguments, the meetings are planned out, right? But when things get real like this, when you have a mom and a daughter who's already had a really, really rough past of not knowing how to communicate. You say how you feel, I say how I feel, and then you pair both of them being famous, or in the public eye, right? Due to the father, Doug, the father and the husband, Doug Christie. things are going to get heightened, and it'll appear as if we can't really tell reality from these people's real lives, right? You can see the trauma oozing out of Chantel. You can see that. That's something that you can see. With Jackie, you can see Jackie is like, okay, you're testing me. I know you want a moment. We're on the show together. I'm trying to, I get that we want a moment. I get that we want a bag, right? You be cussing me out. I even probably let you cuss me out here and there because we both signed the contracts to be on the show. We got to get these ratings. I feel like that's Jackie's thinking. That's just what I think. I think Chantel is thinking that way too. Although the trauma is a real thing. You know what I mean? Should this have been done on national TV? Now, the oldest daughter, Takari Lee, she went and did an interview with another amazing creator who I really, really admire. His name is his channel is Make It Make Sense. So she did an interview there. She talked about her response to this altercation. I'm gonna post the clip right here.
So, you're gonna say what you heard, but when you saw the clips of your mom, whether your relationship was strained or not, and we're hearing that it's not strained, how did you feel seeing someone, albeit your sister, put their hands on your mom?
My stomach hurt. My stomach was hurting when I heard about it, and I was in straight disbelief. And then to see like it really happened like that, my stomach hurt. You know, it just made my stomach hurt. I felt so bad. Like I just felt so bad, and I just wanted to reassure my mom, like, I don't feel that way. We're not living in that past. We're not, doing that. You're not alone. You're not alone. I don't know what's going on. I can't, we all saw, I'm gonna call my dad. I'm gonna get my dad, using that against her type thing. And I'm not sure what's going on, but I just wanted to make sure she knows, I'm standing with you. I don't care who would have hit you. It's not cool. Like I never would have said, and I know people think I should support my sister. I'm not against my sister, but she was wrong. She was very wrong. We're 30. We're in our 30s, baby. We can talk, we can talk. And if a conversation is not getting us the results that we want, we're old enough to turn to God by ourselves and just ask him to heal our hearts and go on about our business, because I don't see where the good comes from this.
Yeah, and Jackie Christie has a right hook. I want to address Chantel because I know what people are probably thinking, but even though we're going to get into a recent back and forth between Kari and Chantel, on the back end, Takari spoke kindly of her sister to me. She even said that she did not know if well, are you comfortable saying what you said to me?
Go ahead.
You go for it. I think it's better to come from you because Takari's walls aren't up. You might think so. We're gonna get into some very messy stuff in a minute, but Takari was still showing concern for her sister when we spoke earlier today. Can you kind of go into that?
Definitely. I have always, I am a protector, and I get that from my mother. She is a protective person. I'm a protector, and one of my biggest things all of my life has been I never wanted my sister or my little brother to ever experience any kind of pain. Like, I have experienced pain of not feeling worthy, like life was, just useless. I have felt so low. And my biggest fear was that somebody could make them feel that way or something could make them feel that way. So I have defended my sister in situations where we absolutely know she was wrong. She was completely wrong, but I will stand up with her and, hey, you get behind me and I'll deal with these people because it's my job to protect you. So I was originally, I've maintained that. Even through all of this, she doesn't talk to me. I reached out maybe 4 years ago. It was a few years back. I did reach out to my sister via Instagram and, I'm like, are you ready to talk, And later on, I'll explain to you guys why we stopped talking, but are you ready to talk? And, Instagram tells when they read it. So it showed that she had read it, and I gave her a couple days, and she didn't respond, and I just said, okay, and I will not bother you again. I heard that she went to tell people I cussed her out and all that stuff, and that's not even in my, you know. So to hear that she was thinking of me in a predatory way or like plotting against me in a sense to say such a thing that she said, that was gut wrenching. I'm not even, I took a good week.
Now, according to Sakari, her and her mother, Jackie, have made up. They've squashed their differences. They've moved on, right? And she even said that she's tried to reach out to her sister to see if they can move past their differences. Now, Chantel has went on Instagram and she has basically posted a lot of disparaging things about her sister. Basically talked about her being on Section 8, just basically disrespected her and accused her of being thirsty for fame, thirsty for a moment. When you look at both sisters, Sakari, because I actually watched the full thing, right? And Sakari didn't run from any of the questions. Sakari seemed, and you all can go watch it on Make It Make Sense, the podcast. Sakari seemed very healed, right? Her and her mother have made peace. She seemed at peace. She mentioned that she hasn't talked to Doug in years, but they were good. They've always been good, and how she's strictly been focused on her family. And she also made it a point in the clip that you saw here. She made it a point to basically say, she didn't agree with what her sister did, right? She's not on the podcast to chastise her sister. She just doesn't agree, and she doesn't think that what her sister did was right. And she also is in good relationship with her mother, right? And when we look at Chantel's coming at Sakari, Chantel is sort of, the energy of Chantel is, hey, she did you wrong. She was a colorist. She was a colorist. She was all these things to you. And now you're sitting here acting like you and her are buddy just so you can have a moment. But what's so interesting about Chantel's response, and it's just what I'm saying, not a personal attack to Chantel. Chantel, I get that we're on the show, but Chantel is going at Jackie, going at Sakari. So in my book, all of this adds to the storyline of Basketball Wives. It's just really, really unfortunate that we know what these shows do, right? I like reality TV. I watch Real Housewives. I've watched a few of those bad shows. Now, in the Black community, right, there is that conversation of, why are we on this show fighting? Now we're in a place in 2025 where we see a mom punching her daughter in the face on national television. Meanwhile, we got this stuff going on in this current regime, this current administration, and us as Black people. Why are we as Black people on this TV show embarrassing ourselves, punching each other, throwing drinks, Black women, fighting each other, calling each other the B word, disrespecting each other, playing into that stereotype, right? That is a very, very valid conversation. I think what stands out to me, and by the way, as I say that, I'm not trying to be the moral police. I'm not journalist hat off. I get why reality TV exists. I do. I get why reality TV exists. I get that people want the ratings. Now, a mom and a daughter fighting, that's a lot. Now, I could see if it was two girls who weren't related fighting, or maybe a sister and a sister fighting, I'm like, okay. But if it's a mom and a daughter fighting, it's actually quite triggering, right? And it brings us to the conversation of, should we air this out on national TV? This is setting us back. But it also brings us to another angle of this conversation. There are other races and other ethnicities who are also on national TV fighting, having family issues, going at it. You see that on a lot of reality shows. Anyways, as I wrap this up here, Chantel did speak out about this altercation. She spoke out via her Instagram. Recently, actually, and she said that this particular situation was her worst nightmare. She said that she calls this fight her worst nightmare. So, as we see here, the statement says, "I may not be proud of all my choices this season, but I am also not ashamed. This is my real life, and I doubt anyone judging me lives a perfect one. I see the hate mail, I see the judgment, but I also see all the messages that say, I've dealt with this too. This reminds me so much of my situation. So those of you with heart and understanding, I see you and I appreciate your vulnerability. So those of you who've met me with threats, vile statements, and extreme judgment, may you never understand my plight. Celebrating my darkest moments says more about you than it will ever about me. I've always been misunderstood, and this chapter of my life is no different, but I will answer to God, not imperfect strangers who've never walked a step in my shoes. I will keep my head up and my peace and focus. She said, I will keep my head up and my peace and focus. I'll start by saying, if you've never dealt with a toxic mother, then you truly have no idea what it feels like. As painful as it's been to watch these moments of my life play out on TV, I know my younger self is proud of the woman who finally stood up for herself. The truth is, the dynamic isn't rare. It happens in more families than we like to admit. Narcissism, jealousy, lies, lack of accountability, gaslighting, abuse, hiding, assault, etc. We're just taught to keep it in-house and suffer in silence. I choose to break that cycle. What you witnessed was a masterclass in narcissism, someone lighting the fire behind the scenes, then walking away so you look like the arsonist. I know what really happened on and off camera all season long. So no, the internet cannot bully me into submission. Y'all know the TV character. I know the mother. She touched my arm. I pushed her off of me and she swung. So that was Chantel's statement there. She said that as Jackie walked towards her, she touched her arm and she pushed her off of her, and Jackie swung. Just to reflect on the statement as we come to a close here, journalist hat off. If you are a person who has abusive parents, that is a specific experience. It is. And people don't know what it's like to have a parent, and this is all alleged, this is all commentary. People don't know what it's like to have a parent where behind closed doors they do one thing, but in public they want to look like the mother of the year. That's just one side of the argument that we can look at from Chantel's point of view. From Jackie's point of view, and this is probably like most, or some Black moms or Black parents' point of view, how we grow up culturally is, look, you had a good life, you had clothes on your back, you had food. Even if you didn't have a good life, I was still providing for you. Even if I wasn't there every day, I had to hit the road, or I had to go to work. So I don't understand what the issue is. I may have had moments as a parent where I had to put my foot down with you, or I felt like you were disrespecting me. And that's just what I see because I'm your parent. I'm the mom, you're the daughter. I do everything right. That's how it is for a lot of Black people. And I think Chantel's frustration is, okay, but we have to address the deeper issue and you don't want to address it. And this is what's frustrating me with you. And now I don't respect you. Even in that scene, Chantel was saying, I don't respect you. I've lost all respect for you. I don't respect you. I'm going to cuss you out. We can go there. And there are some kids who are tired of their parents. They're tired of the games. They're tired of the shenanigans. They're tired. But it does not condone violence. So let's wrap it up there. Drop down below and tell me what you think about this topic. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.